Okay, we're back and we are live. And what are we going to talk about? I think we all know. Welcome to Grumpy Old Red Special Edition. Oh, boys, what a crazy day it's been so far. Hope you guys in the chat are doing well. And welcome to Grumpy Old Red. So we broke to you the news this morning that Nuno was coming in and Cooper was going out. And since then, Cooper has officially parted ways with Nottingham Forest. We've had your say on the phone in at what time was it? I can't remember. And now it's time to hear from these grumpy old Reds, plus Rob. The rest will be coming at some point, I hope. How you boys doing?
All right.
Sad.
How you feeling, Rob? I want to start with you, mate, because I feel you're probably the most mixed emotion type. I would guess we haven't spoken about anything yet, but talk us through your emotions, mate.
Well, numb, I guess. It's not how I wanted things to end, and it's not how I expected things to end. I mean, basically, the dream is dead. We all dream of Forest getting into Europe, and I think that because of what he'd done for the club, a lot of fans were dreaming of doing it with this manager. And therefore, it's just a colossal disappointment that, that is never going to come about. Fine, we might do it with another manager.
Hold on, Rob. Are you putting the two things together there, or are you talking in specific Cooper in Europe?
No, I thought there was a dream that we were going to be successful in the Premier League under Cooper, and now we don't have that dream anymore. I mean, the dream was becoming somewhat far-fetched, but a lot of people still had that dream. So it's gone. I mean, I feel like it's not all entirely his fault. I think you possibly need to do a completely separate stream about where it all went wrong and how it unraveled. I think we all know the background to it. He's not 100% to blame for where the club is now. But having said it, that is also not 0% to blame. And therefore, a lot of things need to change at the club if we're going to change trajectory. And one of those was probably the manager. So I think part of the pain is just acknowledging the situation, because we were just going game to game. And it was just so painful. I mean, I've drunk my house dry now. I need to make another trip back to Sainsbury's.
Oh, come on, man. Really?
That's serious. I know. Honestly, I'm glad you didn't do a stream after the Tottenham game, because I was not coherent. I mean, every game was getting harder and harder. And to be fair, it didn't feel good to see him on the touchline enduring it, it's almost as if the club has done him a service by doing it now, because I keep hearing people say, "Oh, we could have given more time." I think he's probably been given a couple more games than any other manager would have been. I was surprised that nothing happened after Fulham. I don't think that this is an early sacking, but at the same time, I can see why he was given as long as he was. Rob,
couple of things. All right. Why is the Europe dream dead? Not that there was a Europe dream this season. Well, I had a Europe dream, not gonna lie. So did Martin. But surely the Europe dream doesn't die because Cooper's gone.
No, but
I know we're not talking this season. I know we're talking long term, but I gotta pull you up on that. What does it matter? Surely it's the club that gets Europe, not Cooper.
No, I think what I was trying to say is that because of what Cooper has done for us as fans, we wanted to see him take us into Europe. We wanted, that to be his reward, if you like. Whereas it doesn't necessarily feel like he's had the reward for what he's done. He's been rewarded with a sacking. That's how it feels. It just feels like I would have liked a better outcome for him personally. But, I think at the same time, the solution was not to let things run, because if you'd let things run 3 or 4 more games, increasing number of people would have got frustrated with him. Whereas with it happening today, you get this sort of outpouring of love and gratitude, maybe even enough to move you, grumpy old Reds. I don't know.
I'll be honest with you, mate. My answer is no. I'm like, I get it, but I think some people have gone too far. So I'm seeing people selling their season tickets right now. I'm seeing some idiots on TV.
Can I buy one, actually, if somebody would like?
He's bidding it out on. I'll send you the link after.
Yeah, that's ludicrous.
Idiots on the TV saying it feels like there's been a death in the family. You know, all this weird stuff, man. And it's like,
there's people on both extremes, aren't there? And I think Marinakis has had a really difficult tightrope to walk with this. You know, if he'd gone after the Luton game, which was when the questions really started to be asked, that would have been way too soon for most people. But if he'd gone on into the middle of if he'd given Cooper the window and then sacked him, that would have been wrong for the
disastrous.
reason. Yeah. So I think in terms of the timing was right. And now I hope that the appointment is right. I am not going to believe that Nuno is here until I see him at a press conference. You know, I'm still very nervous about how this could go. I'm just a little bit worried because nothing's been announced yet.
Okay, you can take it from me. It's done. Right, it's done. 2.5 years on there. I'm pretty sure Ez is frozen. Just very quickly, Ben, you absolute legend. Thank you so much for becoming a member. And Neil, thank you for the 5 months, bro. Appreciate it. We do love all your support on the channel. And you've heard what Rob's got to say, and Rob was like, forgive me if I'm putting words in your mouth, Rob. Rob was Cooper in until quite recently, and he felt probably didn't go Cooper out, but felt it was inevitable. What's your take from the other side, where I'd probably say it's about 3 weeks now, 2-3 weeks, where you felt his time was up?
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about today, looking at it? And just before you answer, the beautiful Nikki, thank you for the 199, bro. Respect Cooper, but thank F. No more chat on him. After this saga, we can move on. Go on, Ant. What's your kind of take on today's events?
I mean, I pretty much echo most of what Rob said. The one thing I definitely don't agree with is he didn't. How did he put it now? He doesn't think he should have been given a better way out, or what, you know, he didn't deserve to go the way he did, or words to that effect.
I wanted better for him. That's
yeah. He actually got half a season more than he should have done. He also has been made a multi-millionaire. He's also been put into the public eye, so now he's actually in line for jobs in the Premier League, which he wouldn't have been previously. I think he's got quite a good deal out of it. But that's aside, right? We'll leave that aside. Of course, we're all sad. And if I'm honest with you, and I was talking to Wolfie before the stream, I did say it's getting a little boring that we have to preface every discussion we have with, we loved him, thank you for what he did, gave us the best 2 years, for a lot of people, not me, for a lot of people, the best 2 years of their Forest lives, what he's achieved, he got us into the Premier League, that's all true, and it deserves recognition. But do we have to say it every time we discuss it? I'd like us to discuss the manager, not the man. And if we discuss the manager and not the man, there's absolutely no question he had to go. No other club would have given him the amount of time he's been given. I've seen people on Twitter saying that Marinakis has not given him time. Marinakis is impatient. Marinakis is one of these hire and fire and guys. No, he's given him a damn sight more time than most club owners would have given their manager with a similar record to Steve Cooper. That is absolutely undeniable. So please, people, don't. I'm trying to keep calm. Don't criticize Mr. Marinakis. That guy's been more than loyal to Steve Clark. Steve Clark. I did that before, didn't I? Has been more than loyal to Steve Cooper. More than loyal. Giving him more than enough time. He's given him more than enough money, more than enough players. Unfortunately, at this moment, Steve Cooper is not good enough to manage Nottingham Forest. I mean, I can go on to Nuno if you like, or we can just.
We'll come on
that
to
later.
him a bit,
Yeah. So that's my thoughts on Steve. I mean, I said I'm getting fed up of saying it, and I'm fed up of listening to other people say it. Yes, we love the guy. We appreciate what he's done for our club. He will always be in our hearts. For me, he's the third best manager Forest have had in my lifetime, and as you all keep telling me, that's a bloody long time. So, what more credit and praise can I give him than that? Okay, I am sad today because, like Rob said, which I did agree with him, when we came up, we all had the dream that Steve Cooper was the man to take us forward and bring us success. Of course, but that didn't work. So you have to move on, don't you? So I'll let somebody else talk for a bit.
Yeah, let me just have a quick shout out to the main man, Greg. Thank you so much for the 4 months, bro. It's that time of year. Santo is coming to town. Maybe Santos will get it again. We never know. We never know what's going on. Chris with the £2 as well. Thank you so much, bro. It's a bad look how this played out on Twitter. Yeah, look, I'm not going to tell anyone how they should or shouldn't react.
Twitter.
But I can say how I thought their reactions are. And I think I get it. And I kind of Rob slightly reflects it, not to that extreme, but I just think for me, everyone knew it was coming. I mean, we talked about it, haven't we, Rob, for a couple of weeks now. You felt it was coming. It was more when than if. And still, when it came today, it did feel weird for me as well. I'm looking there thinking, is he really going? Is this actually gonna happen? And like, what's gonna happen next? And suddenly you start having those thoughts, don't you, about, okay, what does tomorrow bring? And that's kind of where my mindset is. I'm now thinking ahead to what we're doing with Bournemouth match. Are we gonna get a manager bounce? How's the crowd gonna react to all of this? And I think it's important for me right now. I think one of the key things are, have your morning today, or some people will be celebrating, or some people will be neutral on it. But I think come tomorrow, or the moment Nuno's announced, then it's, as harsh as it sounds, Cooper's going to go on to other things. And we need to move forward with our club and focus basically on Bournemouth for me. And that's where I think everyone's mindset needs to be. And like, even though I've been Cooper out, every time the players take to the field, I want them to win. Cooper or not Cooper, the players are on the pitch. I want them to win. And I think a lot of the callers on today's call-in were saying yes or maybe no, it was time for Cooper to go. But a lot of them are very on the fence about Nuno, which I don't think is a bad position either. So I think it's very dangerous times, but I think it's how we as a fan base react to these times, and can we control them or not, control the emotions of it. Did you want to say something? Go.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to, in a way, it's kind of backing up what you've just said. I'd just like to say to all these people, the fanatical Cooper-ins, happy clappers, call them what you like. Not the normal ones. Everybody's entitled to want Cooper in. That's not an issue. But the fanatical ones who call us out with things like, you're not proper Forest fans if you don't support Cooper. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to the match on Bournemouth. I'll be at the ground. I'll be singing for my team. I'll give a good ovation to the new manager. I'll be supporting my club. Will you lot be? Or you'll be sitting at home crying because Cooper's gone?
I think they will, and I think they will. I just think it's just they need to have their morning on it. You know what I mean?
By abusing other people? Is that how they have their morning?
This is the world we live in. We will come on to Worrell in a minute, Cameron, as well, because there's some interesting stuff on Worrell, as I mentioned to you guys earlier. Let's just bring Crypto. And Crypto, what's been your initial reaction and thoughts? I thought you weren't in tonight, mate.
Yeah, no, I had to go and pick the missus up from East Midlands Parkway, but she told me 8:15, but it was 7:15, so I literally just walked in. Anyway,
but you told me to F off. We've split up.
Yeah, so I think obviously it's a sad day for kind of the club and the fans that have supported Cooper. He did get us promoted. He gave us something.
Really? Did he? Oh, none of us knew that.
And let him have his say, and bloody hell, stop.
I'll start my rant in a minute, but first of all, he gave us.
It was just funny because I just said I'm sick of hearing people going on and on about. We all know what he's done for us. But
and it's Crypto's turn.
Yeah. No, but I wanted to fuck off if you want. Don't push me.
I wanted to just give my respects to Cooper first for what he has done, and also for the coaches, because don't forget, it's not only Cooper losing his job here; it's the coaches. And I know that the manager will get a big payout, but I'm pretty sure some of the coaches won't get quite as much. But saying that,
actually, just on that point, before you go into your saying that,
yeah,
do you think Reedy's moving out the penthouse upstairs, Crypto?
maybe. I don't know if he owns it or if he rents it. Who knows? But
go on, sorry.
Hopefully it's all right. I'm sure they'll walk into another job somewhere else pretty easily. But yeah, I mean, apart from everything he's done for the club, which I won't remind Ant of again, I think it's absolutely sickening. The people on Twitter today saying they're going to hand their tickets back. They're going to take flowers and put them around the ground.
I haven't seen that.
Grip. Get a grip of yourself. What the fuck are you people on about? What are you on about? You're supposed to support Nottingham Forest, not Cooper. It's Steve Cooper is not Nottingham Forest. The court has finally been broken. I personally feel sorry for Cooper, and I liked him as a manager, but there's people out there who are supporting Cooper as if he is the whole football club, and it's an absolute joke. There you go, Ant.
Did you? Are you serious about the
I
flowers?
was only having a laugh, but everybody takes me seriously these days. I don't know what's happened to the world. You're all a load of bloody snowflakes. That's your problem.
I've seen tweets since the news broke. People comparing it to losing a family member. People saying we should go and put flowers outside the ground. I mean, come on, guys, get a fucking grip of yourself. He'll probably walk into Crystal Palace tomorrow, and then you won't give a shit about him.
Or they'll follow it.
Or follow him. Who cares?
Ez.
Yo.
How are you, bro?
I'm all right, bro. And just to explain to the guys in the chat while I've been in and out, is because we need to send some bloody logistics over to bloody StreamYard and try and get this shit sorted. But I'm here, man. And I've heard some of what's been said, but you'll have to catch me up on where we're at in the discussion at the moment.
Well, we're just
saying how great he was. And how
whatever you do, Ez, don't mention us getting promoted.
No, you know what I'm saying. Come on, guys. You know what I'm saying.
God, Ez, it's your turn, bro. Talk us through your feeling of today's events. And guys, get those likes up, man. There's over 500 of you in here. And we're on 58 likes. That's 10% of you only, which means 90% of you haven't hit the like. I can see Ant cheating. Ez, thoughts on today, bro? Take us from the start to the finish and your thought process.
Yeah, I was obviously trying to follow it as much as I could, but it was inevitable for me, and I'm kind of as hard as it seems. I'm glad it's been done now, and it's not dragged on any longer than it needs to. I already think it's been dragged on a few more games than it needed to be. I understand why Cooper was given that chance, but I think it was more behind what was happening behind the scenes rather than what Cooper was doing on the pitch. I genuinely believe Marinakis' mind was made up probably after the Fulham game, if not before it. And it's just a matter of time getting the process, all the chess pieces in place for him to make the decision today. And it's going to be hard for some people to take, but I think it's easier for me because I came to this realization that the change needed to happen a lot sooner. So today is not like a shock for me. I'm upset that he's gone for what he's achieved, but I love my club, and I couldn't see my club progressing the way we were going, and that was hurting me more than seeing Cooper go. Was seeing how my club was digressing. If anything, we've got to the promised land, and we're not doing everything we can to stay there. You know what I mean? So I'm glad it's happened. It's bad timing. The timing was never going to be good. Doesn't matter when you do it. The only way you could have got away with any less fallback is if you'd done it, in close season when in between seasons. But during the season, you make a mistake. And it's so ironic, and unfortunately, we had to postpone the
Frank Clark.
He's gone.
He was about to say Frank Clark. Yeah. By the way, Frank Clark, yeah, that will be back on the 9th because obviously of today's breaking news. All right. I don't know if as I don't know, just we'll move on. We'll move forward. Rob, I just want to start to touch on Nuno now, because it's definitely not been widely accepted as the appointment. Yeah. Not so much not accepted. That's probably a wrong turn of phrase. More so, there are reservations. There are reservations about Nuno coming in. Kind of your thoughts on Nuno. I know we discussed him yesterday, but now it's on the cards and it's happening. Do you understand these reservations?
Right. So if you're going to go based on Twitter, you've no idea who those people are.
Correct.
They could be people shit stirring from other clubs. In fact, they probably are. And then the second point is that given the love for Cooper, there's going to be some negative sentiment to whoever takes over. Right. So I think you have to take it all with a huge pinch of salt. What really matters is the results that we get in the next few games, because this civil war needs to end, right? And only results can bring us back together. Because right now it's like kind of, oh, well, you got what you want. Now we're going to prove that we were right. No, we're going to prove that we were right. And that is so totally counterproductive. That gets you relegated. So if anybody does want to sell me their season ticket, please, I will buy it, because you've not been able to get any tickets for that ground for about 3 years now. It's absolutely insane. And that's something that I was going to come on to. We need to stabilize in the Premier League now. And we have not stabilized over the last 18 months. And the reason that we have to stabilize is because at some point, we're going to have to stop spending 150 million a year, and we're going to have to build the stadium. And that's going to be a year where our income is reduced, where the sort of home support factor is reduced. So before we start dreaming of finishing in the European places, we need to stabilize, and we need to feel safe, and we need to get the ground done. And then I think we can push on. So, I do think that Nuno looks, for me, like the right person to do that, because he's done it already. You know, it's less of a gamble. And so, yeah, I've looked into him as a result of the stream we did last night. I think he ticks the boxes, if I'm honest. Yeah, he's not Steve Cooper. He's another manager. But, sorry, what did you say?
What's catching your eye about him that you think ticks the boxes?
Well, hopefully he will be allowed to play some defensive football. I have no problem with playing defensive football. If we're going to take some learnings out of this, what I've learned about the Premier League, and it's something we already knew, you've got the top 6 that dominate, and then the other 14 teams are basically cannon fodder, if we're honest. Now, every now and again, you get someone that catches the eye and goes on a bit of a run, whether it's Newcastle or Brighton or Villa, and we want to be one of those teams.
Yeah.
But basically, if you haven't got the world-class players, the absolute world-class players, you are going to be spending a lot of your time defending, and you have to be stubborn and you have to be hard to break down. And that's not something that you can necessarily switch on and off. It's a mentality of concentrating for, necessarily 100 minutes now. Now, what I don't like about the way Forest have played is that the ball has spent most of the game on the edge of our box, right? And I don't mind being defensive as long as we're defensive higher up the pitch. Because how we've been playing, one mistake, if it's on the edge of your box, or if it's your goalkeeper making it, the goalkeeper has had more possession than any other player over the last few games, right? So, but
over the last season, Rob, they've had the most touches. You're right.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I hope that Nuno will be, given the situation, given the leeway to play defensive football, right? We've got to stop letting goals in, but more importantly, we do need an out. I mean, part of the reason we've been under so much pressure is we've got no one to release the ball to. There's literally nobody making the runs. Or if they are, they're offside and we just lose it immediately.
Yeah.
But we need to accept that the rest of the season, he's going to be playing defensive football. And I mean, even remember last year when Cooper turned it around, we went away and got a stubborn 0-0 at Brighton with no shots. I think we only went in the half twice. It was horrible. It was horrible to watch. It was a damn sight better than losing 5-0. And I just think that we have to get behind Nuno, and we have to be prepared that in order to get some points, it's possibly going to be quite ugly on the eye. But he needs to be given the rest of the season to do that, because we must not go back to the Championship, and we have to stabilise in the Premier League. And he has done it before. He has done it before. So, so in conclusion, I think it's the right appointment, and I'm just a bit nervous until I hear it confirmed.
Yeah. What do you think about what he's just said there, Crypto? Do you agree? I think he's spoken a lot of sense there, Rob. A little surprised, but he definitely.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, the comb over is working for you, Rob. Since you've had that, you've been speaking more sense. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you've got to back Nuno or whoever it's going to be. Has it been officially confirmed yet?
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, this is the point I was trying to make earlier on my little rant. We're supposed to support Nottingham Forest as a football club. You don't support a singular manager, and then when he's gone, you say, oh, I'm going to throw away my season tickets. I'm not going to go to matches anymore. So you were obviously never a Nottingham Forest fan in the first place then, because someone who supports Nottingham Forest wouldn't do that. I think it's going to be a challenge when he comes in, and I think it is going to be a similar style to Cooper. But as we've said many times, and as Rob just pointed out, we don't want to see low block football. We can see counter-attacking football with a higher defensive line, but I don't want to see 10 players sat back in the box. And it is going to be a challenge for him because he doesn't have a proper striker until Taiwo comes back or until he buys one in the January window. So it will be a challenge, but something had to change, didn't it? You know, we just weren't getting the points anymore. We were sat back every game. Something needed to change. As much as you love Cooper and all the respect that people have for Cooper, which is correct and proper, you can't just completely dismiss a new manager when he comes in. And also, you know, when he takes over the first game, if it's against Bournemouth, I hope that people will be singing his name. Yeah, you can sing Cooper's name as well if you want. It's up to you. But it'll be a bit strange for me if everybody stood there chanting Cooper's name for an hour whilst there's a new manager stood in the dugout.
Isn't that counterproductive, Crypto? Isn't that counterproductive if everyone starts singing Cooper when
you've got to get behind the new manager? This is what I was saying. You support Nottingham Forest Football Club. You don't support Steve Cooper Football Club. Everybody's thankful for what Steve Cooper did. Everybody has respect for him. But, you know, it's just some of the comments I've seen. Guys, I've only been on Twitter for one day, and you know I'm already considering getting myself banned, but I'm holding back. But some of the comments
you made it one day, mate. Well done.
I know, yeah. I've nearly got 100 subscribers as well. So if you want to subscribe,
FFTV Crypto Rider, there you go. Exactly, FFTV Crypto Rider.
But like, it's crazy. Like, you know, my car failed its MOT a few weeks ago. I didn't throw my arms up and say, you know what? That fucking Mercedes is the only fucking car I'm going to drive. I'm never going to drive another car. So I'm going to take Trent Barton buses for the rest of my life. No. I like driving a car, so I'll go and find another car. I like Nottingham Forest, so if there's a new manager, I'll go and support the new manager. It's just strange.
Wait, is the car Cooper or is the car Nottingham Forest?
The car's Cooper, you know? Steve Cooper is the Mercedes, but if Steve Cooper's broken, then you get a new car.
You get a Ferrari.
Who knows? You could upgrade, or you know, if Nuno gets us relegated, then you know,
he's for it.
You'll still support Forest.
We'll still support Forest, exactly. Yeah. But I won't be sitting here going, I want Nuno to be manager whether he gets us relegated or not. Because there's people on Twitter who's saying, oh, I wanted Steve Cooper to take us through relegation. He'd get us back up. Steve Cooper will be gone to a different Premier League club, probably Palace, or a different Premier League club. it's just not normal for me to hear people go that far to support somebody who's the manager of your club. And I've also seen comments blaming Marinakis and throwing abuse at Marinakis. At the end of the day, Marinakis has to make a business decision. He can't risk us getting relegated. He has to try and change something to stop the rot. And if he feels that's what's right, then he has to make that change. It's not up to the fans who want to go and lay flowers at Nottingham Forest. He's not dead. He's not fucking dead. It's fucking ridiculous.
Rob, I want to come to Anne, but Rob, you want to jump in with a point there?
Can I just say something that will probably make me even less popular, which this goes back to 2 months ago when I was just a mere viewer of this stream rather than a talking head on it. There are two sides to this coin, right?
Yes.
When I was watching, it started to feel to me like certain members of this panel actually wanted the team to lose because it would hasten the departure of Cooper. And it seemed to me like nothing that he did would please you, and that you were looking for that to come as quickly as possible, and therefore you couldn't even get happy about a win or happy about a good performance. I think I've referred to it before as shit tinted glasses. So I just want to say that there are two sides to this coin.
There is.
There are people that possibly think that some of us are not real Forest supporters, which is obviously bullshit. I think we desperately need results to stop this civil war, because I just don't feel it helps the team get out of the situation that we're currently in. And frankly, I don't think people are going to sing Cooper maybe before kickoff. Maybe before kickoff, but not during the game.
If we go goal down.
If we go goal down and people start that, I think there might be some unrest in the game, in the crowd.
I do take issue, obviously, with what you said. I've never not wanted, I can only speak on my behalf, right? I've never not wanted Forest to not win. What I will say, over the last 4 weeks, I haven't been enthusiastic about watching Forest. Still watch it, still my team, yeah? But, you know, I think I said it a couple of weeks ago, the fire just felt like it had gone out of me. You could see the team looked dead. The manager looked dead. The tactics looked dead. It was just... And at that stage, I'm there thinking, why are you guys not trying to inspire us? It's not meant to be the other way around. And I'll throw that at Nuno and the team for Saturday. They have to come out fighting. Now, the problem with that, Ant, is that if they do that, I expect another reaction, because fans will turn around and say, well, why did they down tools against Cooper and now suddenly they've remembered how to play football? Can you see a scenario with that happening?
Yeah, that happens at every club that sacks a manager who goes on to win the next game.
Houghton.
Every club, it happens. Why didn't they do it for the last manager? Because the last manager wasn't motivating them correctly, or he wasn't playing the correct kind of football, or he wasn't picking the correct personnel. Whatever it is, there's a reason. Some may have down tools. I don't like deny that, but that's football. That's just football. Can I just? Somebody in the chat's giving me a really good idea. Actually, I like this idea. They didn't say this exactly, but you need. Wolfie, you should have a red card and yellow card. And if I get out of hand, give me the yellow. And if I continue, do the Dallo on me. That works.
What I'll do is I'll just do that. And
yeah, but then I'll just bring myself back on, won't I? It's a bit pointless.
Yeah, but okay. Just before you carry on, just a couple of super chats. I just want to get it.
Otherwise, I might do that.
You can do that to me now. I might have to change your privileges. All right, a couple of super chats, which are more important than me and Ant bickering. Thanks so much for the £2, bro. Appreciate it. And Owen, the absolute legend, with 1 gifted membership. And I can't for the life of me remember who it went to. I hope they thanked you for your generosity, bro. And our lovely mate in Scandinavia, Jan. Thank you so much.
Oh, Jan.
You absolute legend with the super sticker. I appreciate that. Oh, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And let me come back to you, because I want to talk about this Worrell stuff. before we go further into Nuno, Cooper, etc. I don't know if everyone in the chat has seen it, but there's been some statements. Now, I haven't been able to verify it. I don't know how true they are, but let me just read this stuff out to you to catch everyone up. Cooper had a major disagreement with Worrell, the Forest captain. Worrell was informed on the morning of the game against Aston Villa on November the 5th that he would not be in the matchday squad. Reacting angrily, Worrell did not attend the game as he did not feel in the right frame of mind. Then it goes on to say, reporting to the training ground days later, he then had a heated confrontation with Cooper and was instructed to train with McKenna away from the first team squad before matches, from match day -2 and sometimes beyond. I don't know if everyone's seen that, or I don't know if you've seen that, Rob and Crypto, but we knew there was cracks under the bonnet, and I don't actually like that it's come out today, to be honest. I don't like this sack your manager and air the dirty laundry, but hey, it's out. We're gonna have to talk about it. What's your kind of initial take on that? And
I think we all knew that something had gone off, because obviously Joe Worrell was his captain. He chose him to be captain. And then to go from that to being banished from the squad is quite a heavy punishment, really. So we all knew that something major had gone off, and we kind of suspected this. And there's been the rumours about him mouthing off in the pub and all that lot. And it appears, at least, that,
sorry, and apparently it came out last week. I've only seen it today. Apologies if that's the case, but go on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a very good look, is it, for the club? It's not a very good look. And all I can say is let's move on from it. You know, it's gone now, isn't it?
And it's not a very good look for Joe Worrell when he comes on in the Luton match and fucks up the whole game.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. You know
Cooper
what I mean?
defended
I mean,
him
for my money, Joe Worrell's finished at this club. You know, sorry, any Worrell lovers out there, but he's finished at this club, and he's not good enough for us anyway. You know, so there you go. I've not really got a lot more to say about it, Wolfie, because it's just crap that comes out when a manager leaves a club. You know, and disenfranchised players then can get their side of stuff out, and you know it happens. We might hear stuff from Shelby. You don't know.
Surely he can't genuinely believe that he's better than Niakate, Bolle, Felipe Murillo.
This is the thing, isn't it?
Will.
You know, and some people have got annoyed about the way he struts about on the pitch, chewing gum and all that lot. Now, I don't know if that might just be his way of doing things, but it does give the impression that he thinks he's special. And if he has thrown a Mardy for being dropped, and like you say, for Niakate or for Murillo or for Felipe or whoever it is, and he throws a strop, then he's got an overinflated idea of his own talent, in my opinion.
Yeah, but don't all footballers have that, Crypto? They should. I don't mind him thinking he's better than he is. Again, you could say the fan base in certain sections were hyping him up more than he was, but shouldn't he have that, Crypto? He's your boy, so you might as well answer.
Joe Worrell single-handedly ruined that Luton match, and I'll never forgive him. So I don't care, to be honest.
Can I just say, I don't think there's anything wrong with a player having an overinflated ego. There's nothing wrong with that.
If you're good, if you've got the skills to back it up.
No, not even that. But you can't chuck your toys out the pram if you get dropped because of it. What you have to do is say to yourself, no, I don't understand this. I'm better than him. I'm going to prove it. That's an elite mentality, not throwing your toys out the pram and not coming to matches and what have you. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's all speculation though, because we don't really know.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's clear there's been a bust up with him and Cooper. That's
definitely
for sure. We've never spoken to you about it, Rob. Where are you on this whole Worrell thing?
Well, firstly, I would say there's going to be way more dirty laundry airing over the next few days because it's obviously not been a harmonious thing there. I feel bad for Cooper because he's been trying to keep too many people happy. There's been that much upheaval in the squad. I mean, Vlachodimos basically got picked because he was moaning, as far as I can see. And I think the problem is because he was such a nice guy and he wasn't someone that they were afraid of, that they thought they could get their way by moaning and behaving like spoilt children. So, I mean, I don't know. Shelby behaved a little bit like that, and he was got rid of very quickly. He was made to disappear. Now, in terms of Worrell, is there a way back for him? I think that when you get a new manager, it's a reset button for everybody. So a lot of it is about the attitude he displays in training. I'm very disappointed if this is true, what he said, because, you know, it's Cooper's next man up philosophy is like, look, you have a bad game, you get dropped, you stay quiet, you put your head down, you work hard in the reserves, you don't rock the boat, and then you wait until you're called upon. And we've seen that with Yates coming back, Kouyaté coming back, Nico Williams coming back, even Toffolo. Toffolo didn't get a game for the whole of Ren and Loddy, but he wasn't a spoiled brat about it. Now, Worrell,
he was sold. He was sold in January. Anderlecht. Don't forget that.
Yeah, well, Worrell, of all people, I expected better from him if that's how he's behaved. You know, in fact, he had a good game against Chelsea. Then he had the bereavement that we all know about. Yeah. And he was rewarded with a new contract. And then he repaid us by losing us 2 points and then apparently having a strop straight afterwards. So I'm disappointed with him. And it just paints a picture of Cooper being maybe too much of a nice guy and trying to keep everybody happy. You know, I think he wanted to play in a certain way, which was stubborn and defensive and difficult to break down. But he had a lot of pressure to entertain, to play attractive football. And even on this channel, we were saying, oh, you know, we might lose a few games, but at least have a go, play some attractive football. Yeah. And then basically we got the same result as we did at the start of last year. Start of last season, we tried to play attractive football. We lost 2-0 at home against Tottenham. Everybody said, oh, didn't we play well? Yeah, but nothing to show for it. So he's had to learn the same experience, learn the same lesson twice. So I think what we're going to see when all of this unravels is that Cooper was trying. He was too much of a nice guy, and he was trying to keep everybody happy. So from what I can see about Nuno, he prefers to work with a very small and stable squad, and there's going to have to be a lot of people going. Yes, a lot of people going, and very few people coming in. We're talking like laser focused recruitment. So probably a goalkeeper and a striker, and that's it, right? And a lot of people are going to have to go. And I would honestly like to see opportunities for people from the academy. You know, in the long term, if you can have a small but stable squad, and then you can give opportunities for people from the academy, that is, to be honest, I think that's what Cooper wanted. By the way, I don't think he wanted this kind of 40 players to try and keep happy. So I don't know, but we're going to see a lot more of this. I don't think Cooper himself will. I mean, he's probably got a kind of what do you call a gagging clause or whatever with in his payout.
Yeah,
but
6 months. Stories
will emerge because, you know, from his backroom staff or from sources that are close to the matter. I think, unfortunately, it's going to paint a pretty dysfunctional picture.
Yeah, but I'm going to ask you a question. Is Cooper blameless in this scenario? Before I do, there's a couple more super chats that I just want to get into. Jonathan, thank you so much for the 3 months, bro. Andrew Sharkey, in for a penny, in for £2. Love you, bro. Thank you so much. And Michael, thank you for becoming a new member. And Matt saying here, the anti-Cooper, Worrell and McKenna panel. I assume by that, Matt, you want Worrell and McKenna to start? Yeah. That'd be right in making that assumption.
I wanted to address it. Sorry, go on. I'm not going to interrupt again.
No, go. I'm done.
No, I saw that comment and I wanted to address it, but it kind of flew by. Because you don't believe that the manager is the right one, and you don't believe that Worrell and McKenna are good enough to be in our team, yes, we should be anti those people. That makes sense with Forest fans. Why would you want a player in your side that you don't believe is good enough to be in your side? That strikes me as being a bit silly.
I don't think anti is the right word. I would say I don't think either of them are good enough to make.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Why is it like personalized as anti that player? I mean, you know, Ayew was perhaps not loved by the Forest fan base. I don't know if whoever put that was a fan of Ayew. But was
He's a
it
fan of McKenna
not
and
fair
Worrell.
for him to criticize Ayew? Is it not fair? Are we not supposed to?
Nobody was a fan of Ayew.
But there must be, because I'm being told we're anti if we don't think that Worrell deserves a place in the team. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's a little bit weird, that thing, because you have to make the assumption that he thinks they should be. Anyway, let's move forward and let's talk about Nuno, and let's talk about the thing that everyone's talking about. Let's kick it off with you, Crypto. Everyone, well, not everyone, but there are a lot of people. I've seen messages on the comments. Sorry, there's been like millions of messages on the videos today. We haven't had time to get back to them, but we are reading them all. Loads of people have said, great, we're swapping one low block manager for a foreign low block manager. They haven't used the word foreign. I thought I'd chuck it in there just to make it more fun. Do you agree with that, Crypto? And chat, what do you think? Are we just trading low block for low block here? Is that your kind of starting assumption?
I don't think it's low block in the sense that we sit all of our team back in our own box. It may be low block in the sense that we sit, quite deep, but at the end of the day, it's going to be counter-attacking football. You've got to look at the stats. Again, I'll mention Twitter. There's so many people on Twitter saying, oh, the stats don't matter. It's about Cooper. Cooper loves the club. He understands the city. The stats do matter. I mean, he took Wolves to, what was it, 7th in the first season. So although he is quite a defensive manager, he's getting points. That's what we need. At the end of the day, it's a points-based business, and that's why Cooper will have gone, because we're not getting points anymore, and we can't risk relegation. The football may not be pretty, but I don't think it will be as low block as we are currently. That there will be a bit more of attacking style to his play. I do agree, though, that it is going to be a challenge for him when he comes in, because at the end of the day, he doesn't have Taiwo. So it'll be interesting to see whether he plays Origi or Chris Wood, or whether he plays a false 9. But yeah, it is going to look defensive to begin with. But I think something just had to change. Clearly, it's not working out. It's gone too far, hasn't it? Like I said earlier, I've got a lot of respect for Cooper, and I respect what he's done. But there needs to be a time where Marinakis has to pull the trigger. And for me, I agree that it's better to do it before the January window, because I don't agree with people who say, give Cooper January. So then what? Cooper brings in his own players in January and then sack him. It's not going to work. Then you've got to convince a manager to come in and not have any options for who he wants to bring in. You need to give him time. This week is a good week because he's got 3 or 4 days now to train with the team before the Bournemouth match. Then he's got the January transfer window. So if there was ever a time to do it, it should be now. Although it should have been after the Luton game, but it should be now.
He did want to do it after the Luton. This is the thing that cracks me up. We told you guys after the Luton game that Marinakis wanted to sack Cooper.
And how many points have we got since then?
4.
It's like what we tell you, we're telling you. We're not going to tell you crap. Well, sometimes we do, but how about you, my diamond?
Evening, guys. How are we doing?
Good. Quick summary of your thoughts of today's action, mate.
Like I said last night, I was expecting a response, and I think it's good that we've got it done. I'm glad that it's gone this way. Again, I'm just going to be echoing pretty much what everyone said on this chat. We all do feel sorry for Cooper. We did want him to succeed. I know a lot of us were kind of saying we were hoping that we were going to fail. That wasn't really the case. We wanted him to get us out of this, but we couldn't see it being another way. So I thought if they stuck by their guns and kept him in, that would have been really concerning. We'll just have to see how Nuno does when he's finally announced, I guess. It's good that we've got it done and he's got a good run of days to go in before Saturday. So hopefully, I feel like it's going to be a case that all the fans who actually wanted to see some change, they're going to be damned if they win or damned if they lose Forest. So it's going to be a tricky one. It's going to be a case of getting the next few games out and seeing if there's actually any progression or not.
Yeah. Do you think it's a good thing that we don't have that many games in January, Anne, in terms of getting Nuno settled in and in terms of letting the temperature come down from the fan base as well?
Yeah, it's got to be good, hasn't it? Because the manager needs as much time as possible on that training pitch to get to know the players and make his decisions. So yeah, absolutely, it really is a good time to bring him in. Can I just mention on Nuno as well? Because look, I wasn't excited by it. It's not like Klopp or Pepper's coming.
Xabi Alonso, is it?
But yeah, but it's who's available and who we can realistically get. And on going into it further, one of the main things that I've taken comfort of is that I've not seen a single Wolves fan who said that they thought he was absolutely fantastic. They loved him. They'd have him back and everything. Every Wolves fan that I know and I've seen online that said the same thing. He's fantastic. The football, I remember, because I was thinking, yeah, he's a low block manager. Then I thought, actually, no, I remember a couple of years ago or whenever it was, people were raving about Wolves.
Yeah,
they were absolutely raving when they came up and got 7th and then 7th again. They were saying what a great side they are to watch. Everybody likes watching Wolves. So I thought it can't be as bad as people are making out. I remember them being an exciting side, but obviously I didn't watch them every week. But the Wolves fans that did say no, it was brilliant. We loved it. And I'll tell you something else. We've said this before. 3 at the back or defending deep, does not mean low block. You can defend with 5 defenders and it not be a low block. I said this loads of times. You have 2 flying full wing backs, which Nuno had at Wolves. You had 2 flying wing backs. You got your central 3 in the middle, and then you got your two central midfielders. That can
he
be
doesn't
quite
even
exciting.
do that. He doesn't even do that.
Right?
He goes a 3-4-3. So he's got 3 attackers. And then he's gone and doing the maths. Love it.
Yeah. No. That's what I'm saying. 3-4-3. That's 3 central defenders, 2 wing backs, 2 midfielders, 3 forwards. That is 3-4-3.
No, it's not.
Anyway, we're talking semantics. But I think we both know what we're saying. We're both saying the same thing. So that can be. It's certainly not as dull as watching 10 men behind the ball. Let me put it that way. And the other thing that we've also said is that, to a certain extent, we'll accept dull games, but don't lose them. That's the difference. Nuno may have played defensively sometimes. He was renowned for hitting on the break, wasn't he? So I'd hitting fast on the break.
Yeah.
But they won. That's the difference. Yeah. We're not winning with playing defensively. It makes a big difference.
A perfect low block score is 1-0. And that's how he started when he started with Wolves.
Yeah. They were renowned for it,
low block score for Cooper is losing 2-0 to the opposition.
That's
the difference.
So the other thing I'd just like to address very quickly is, and I've heard this a lot, look what he did at Tottenham. At Tottenham, he had 10 games. He won 5, lost 5. We'd settle for that. We would settle for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will add, sorry, I'll bring you in just 1 sec. My brother hated him at Spurs. He literally hated him at Spurs. Yeah. I'm not going to deny it. He'll say it on Friday when we do the Predictor League.
I'm not saying he was great at Spurs.
No, but Spurs wanted something different, didn't they? They wanted something different. And Pat, he's not right. I'm going to show you 3 of the 3 centre backs. Then in the 4, you have the 2 wing backs, which only leaves you 2 in the middle, not 3. And then 2 wingers and a striker. But anyway, we will have plenty of videos coming this week. Once Nunes is appointed, I keep calling him Nunes. Nuno is appointed. We'll talk you through all his tactics, all the ins and outs of it. We'll have Dave coming on as well from a Wolves perspective. And I'll probably see if I can get Sava on to give us a Spurs perspective. I want to give every perspective we can get on his thoughts. Sorry, Lemmy, I interrupted you. You're about to jump in and say something.
Yeah, it's just, it seems like we've got a lot of different arguments that are all of a sudden coming out against Nuno. And the one about Spurs baffles me. It just doesn't make sense. You're comparing apples and oranges there in terms of what clubs we're at. And it's the same with a lot of Spurs managers. I'm pretty sure your brother probably wasn't mostly fond of Mourinho when he was there.
Once Poch went, they weren't. It was very Cooper-like with Poch for them.
But so I suppose that we would never be looking at having Mourinho in because he did terrible at Spurs. Look how crappy it was there.
You make some great points, mate. You really
it's just awful. So hit us up with your next thoughts about it. All the people that are trying to have Nuno's head before he's even had a chance. It's like as soon as you got to give Cooper another chance, give him another chance, he'll come good. But then as soon as we've got someone else in who's not like going to be propelling us to top 6, it's why we're doing that. Get him out. I don't want to be part of it. Get Marinakis out. It's just mental. And we were getting a load of flack for wanting some change, and now all of a sudden there's change. They're going just as crazy as we did, if not worse.
It's a weird cycle, isn't it? It really is. It really is. Rob, I want to bring you in. I just got a couple more super chats to shout out. Thank you so much, Brandon. You absolute legend. It was great to have you on the call in earlier. Stick together, tricky trees. 100%, man. 100%. Thank you so much for the £2. And Sherlock Martin Holmes. Thank you for the 199. We have our Forest back. Can't wait for Saturday. Come on, you Reds. Bro, I'm just as excited as you. I'm nervously excited. Rob, I just want to look slightly ahead into the January window, just because you touched on it earlier on. You were saying striker and goalkeeper, and do you think that's it? But do you not think that there's been a conversation either now or earlier between Nuno and Marinakis where the transfer budget will have to have been discussed? And can you really see a manager coming in being told, we'll get you 2 players and you can exchange the loanees maybe, and him agreeing to it? Are you quite confident on that's what you think is going to happen?
That's probably what is being discussed right now. Because he's going to want to come in with a plan in place. What I do think is he's probably going to have to use the next 3 games to work out if he can get goals out of Chris Wood. I know it's a horrible thing for us to have to face up to, but I mean, the system that Cooper's been playing, with a counter, Wood does not work in a counter-attacking setup because he's just not fast enough. He can't cover the ground. So you have to move the whole team higher up the pitch. You need to have width, and you need to just be raining in crosses. You need to put in 15, 20 crosses and hope that he gets on 3 or 4 of them and that 2 are on target and 1 goes in. That's basically...
He still doesn't jump. He doesn't jump.
I know. But the point is, he is, at the moment, our 90 grand a week, £15 million striker.
19.
And plus, and then I don't know about Origi. I think he's just a never was rather than a has been. But he's probably going to have to use this opportunity to see, can I get something out of Wood? And he'll know. I think Cooper has been in 2 minds. He's been sitting back but trying to integrate Wood, and for whatever qualities he's got, he is not Taiwo. Part of the problem we've had is that the defense has had nobody to release the ball to, right? So Wood is at least a target man. If there was like one thing that summed up our whole season, Nico Williams got the ball the other day, 3 Tottenham players closing him down. He's already almost at our corner flag. He's got no one to release the ball to. So he hits it back to Turner. He's got a man bearing down on him. He's trying to clear it. He's got nobody to clear it to. 2 more people bearing down on him. Goal, right? So we cannot defend the edge of our penalty box. We have to push the whole team higher up. And until we can sign somebody, he's going to have to try and get something out of Wood. And that means picking him. That means picking him and actually designing the team around him, which is going to be something... Oh, God. I know it's a horrible idea, but otherwise it's give White and Langer up front, no change.
You do realise that Wood statistically spends the most of the matches further back than the central attacking midfielders.
Right, so you need to move the whole team up. You need to move the whole team up with him, even if that means playing an offside trap, even if it means playing a high line.
What about simplifying it?
Defenders.
What about simplifying it to, if he plays Chris Wood, Nuno out?
Well, okay. Who else have we got?
Xabi Alonso, Zidane, Mourinho.
So, I mean, he may well have seen enough from what he's watched and just thought, right, I'm not going to bother picking this guy. But alternatively, he's got 3 games, which for him are something of a free hit to see, can I get a goal out of Chris Wood? So, like it or not, that's probably something we're going to have to address. is he going to pick him from the start, and is he going to change the system to get something out of that striker? Otherwise, we're going to be playing Ilanga and Gibbs-White up front, which has not yielded results.
Yeah, but I have no words. I have no words.
What do you suggest instead? What's
I'll tell you what I suggest.
Even Origi would be better than Wood.
I'll tell you
really?
what I suggest. I suggest we concentrate on letting goals in before we worry about scoring them. That's what I suggest. Because that's been our problem.
Yeah, but part of the reason we've been so frail defensively is we've got no one to release the ball to.
Yeah.
I can't do this with them. I can't do this with them because I see more problems than solutions. All right, let's say we suddenly get a tune out of Wood, right? Let's say Wood has this sudden purple patch for the next 3 games. Yeah. That would be counterproductive because if we went down your theory, then if Wood was crap for the next 3 games, we would buy a striker in January. So
I think we need to buy a striker anyway. But the point is that at the minute we've got one good striker and he's injured, right? So we probably need to, if possible, buy 2 strikers in January, or 1 loan, 1 buy. Yeah, Origi's definitely going back, but do you not think that there's for Nuno there might be an unanswered question about Wood, that he might start him on 1 game at least?
Nuno, if you need the answer, give me a buzz, mate. I'll give you the 1-word answer.
So this is interesting. What's he going to pick instead then?
I'd go Origi. Chat, would you go Wood or Origi, chat? I'd go Origi. And who would you go?
Sadly, although I think Origi is trash, I'd go Origi.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's good. But
he's got some legs. He's got some legs, hasn't he? Wood hasn't even got any legs.
Yeah. Lemmy, who would you go?
Yeah, it'd have to be Origi. Out of the 2, it's like choosing what way you want to die. Do you want to die from bloody cancer or AIDS? Neither, really. I'd rather keep living. But if I have to choose, I'll choose Origi.
I thought I was bad when I said between shit and vomit. He goes 1 step further.
You got called out on that, didn't you? Crypto, I'll give you an extra option. Would Origi or Worrell up front?
If it was up to me, if I was taking charge of Forest tomorrow, Worrell, Kouyaté, throw Alex Martin in there, and Chris Wood, I'd ship him off to Derby. Alex Martin is shit. Alex Martin is fucking wank at football. So them 4, I'll ship him off.
He's not doing us any harm.
He's not even here. Oh, do I know that he did come back, didn't he?
He's still on the books. Isn't it? He's still on the books.
Is he back? Because he went to Sheffield Wednesday last year. I haven't given him a second thought, you know.
You know what? It says it all. What I listened to a Worrell interview once, and they asked him who's the most challenging person to play against in training. Do you know who he said? Alex Martin. Just for that comment alone, they should all be sacked.
So who would you play up front?
Origi.
Rob, you're outnumbered in the chat. You're outnumbered.
Actually,
oh my
someone
God.
just suggested getting Hwang
can I
back.
just let you know?
Sorry.
Hwang's under some charges, isn't he? So I don't think he'll...
Yeah, he's got alleged.
He's playing for Prison FC, allegedly.
He's playing for Norwich, though.
Go on,
Alex Martin is on loan to KV Court.
Exactly. No one's ever heard of them. It's probably in the country that
he's
doesn't
played
even
2 games and got no goals.
Well, there you go.
All season.
Says it all.
All right, I'm going to ask Lemmy this question. I know he's injured, but theoretically, would you bring Dennis back?
Well, I don't know the extent of the injury.
Let's pretend he's fit tomorrow.
Immediately recall him.
I don't think he cancelled January, if I remember rightly. But all right, let's say he's fit in January.
I think I'd bring him back in, but not as someone that I'd play up front. I'd bring him in as a replacement winger.
Over who?
Well, no, he wouldn't be starting on a winger. He'd be substitute, bring him on as someone who can keep up the pace on the wings, because you've got Ilanga and Callum Hudson-Odoi, who I'd always want to start out wide. And then it's once those 2 are kind of burnt out, right, who do you bring on next? We don't really have anyone, in my opinion. So I'd call him back in, but not as a kind of like see us through this striker crisis that we've got. We need to have someone brand new in my opinion.
And is there anyone from the bomb squad that you think will get a chance? Because the chat is saying Lewis O'Brien, they're saying Scarpa. You got Josh Bowler. Would anyone consider Josh Bowler as an option? But
Why
is there
not?
anyone from the bomb squad that you would want back in to maybe have another look at?
Well, Dennis is one that I would. Scarpa is another one that I would. I
McKenna?
mean, Lewis O'Brien. I love Lewis O'Brien, but that's not the part of the pitch where we need reinforcements. Yeah, we're really looking at strikers, aren't we? When you say anybody from the bomb, it's really strikers, because in midfield and defence, let's face it, we've got more than enough. Yeah, so it's striker, and the only one I can think of, well, the only two I can think of are the obvious ones, Dennis and Scarpa. I don't think we've got anybody else, have we? Even out
Just
on
Bowler,
loan?
really. Bowler is a maybe
Yeah.
backup winger for me.
Yeah, Bowler. Yeah, no, no,
Yeah.
not for me. Not for me. Other people, may disagree, but I don't think it's Premier League quality. From what I
We
think.
should have never got rid of Sam Surridge.
Oh,
I don't
God.
agree with that either.
Really? He did nothing when he played last season, Crypto.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Did more
Apart
than
from
Chris Wood.
Bournemouth.
It was offside all the time.
Yeah.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough. We're desperate, but that doesn't mean that we should put me up front. You know what I mean? We're not that desperate. And Sam Surridge
Dino
falls
up
into
front.
a similar category as I do.
I think Dino would do a job. All right. I want to move on to expectations. Let's kick this off with Europe. I think this is going to be interesting. All right. What is everyone's expectation now, assuming Nuno gets announced tomorrow, as I think he will? He may even be announced tonight. What are you saying Forest should do this season? Chat, put a position in the table. Let's kick this off with Rob.
If he can get through the first 7 games, as we were talking about last night, the 3 before the window and then the 4 during the AFCON, I think it's going to get progressively easier for him. I think it's going to be very difficult at the start. And I think that he will. And I think that we may finish about 14th or 15th. Unfortunately, we've got crap goal difference and we're a bit far behind. But we see this every year. We saw it last year. I mean, West Ham were doing rubbish and then they turned it around. Wolves were doing rubbish and then they turned it around. Bournemouth were doing rubbish this year and they turned it around.
Yeah.
Obviously, it goes the other way. Southampton were just crap all last year, and probably Sheffield United, as they're now known, will be crap all of this year. But, every year there's stories of teams in our position that make a change and turn it around. So I like to hope that we can finish, say, 14th or 15th, and can be some progression there.
All right, 14th, 15th. Joe, what are you saying?
Yeah.
What were you, Joe, for this year before? Just out of interest. I can't remember.
I think I was about 14th, 15th. I think
Okay.
I was less focused on league position. I wanted to see an established starting 11, no injuries, which have both gone out the window already. So I think it's going to depend on if we can actually hit a run of form. I think that's going to be the key thing. If we can get a couple of games to establish how he wants to play football, have a good January transfer window, all it then takes is doing what Everton are doing right now, doing what Bournemouth are doing right now. I mean, you've got Everton, who had a 10-point deduction, are now ahead of us, and should realistically be about 9th in the league.
Yeah.
You've got Bournemouth, who were basically battling it out with no wins. About 2 months ago? They hadn't got a win in the league. Now they're on 19 points and they're 14th. If we can just hit something, hit a purple patch, get Taiwo back, have a good January transfer window with 2 or 3 solid signings, and just stop losing, grind out draws, and get the occasional 1-0 win, we shouldn't be looking going down. It should be 14th, 15th, same as Rob, I think, in my opinion. but there's no reason why you couldn't go any higher.
And it's quite interesting, the idea of that run that Lemmy just talked about, because Everton have gone 4 in a row, and look where they are now. Bournemouth have gone, is it 5 and 6 or something like that? Look where they are now. Is an important thing here a bit of a run just to push us up the table? And then do you think kind of advance off that, or are you just going to be happy with establish this season and then look again next season?
I pretty much agree with what the guys have said. I think I said on the other last night that 14th for me, I would, I'd be okay with that. I wouldn't be jumping up and down with the knickers in the air, but I think 14th I'd be happy enough, considering that where we are right now. And you're absolutely right. It doesn't take a lot to get out of that mess.
Yeah,
because everybody down there is losing. So if you can be the one that stops losing, you soon go up that table. So I think there's no reason why we can't hope for 14th. I'm not going to be screaming for the manager's head if it's 15th, providing we can see a style of play that we can recognise and we have some confidence, providing we're going to matches believing we can win. I mean, even when we were getting promoted on Steve Cooper, there were loads of games where we went and got, went and won 1-0 with a defensive display and sprung the trap and got a 1-0. And I was happy. I was happy. We were winning. I'm happy. I'm a Forest fan. If we're winning, I'm happy. Of course, we want the right style. And that should always, in my opinion, be something that we're striving for. But until we reach that, which I don't envisage reaching that this season because of, the situation. But providing we're winning on our way to establishing that, I'm going to be a happy clapper, And AFCON obviously is a worrying thing. I mean, I honestly don't know what we're going to be left with whilst that's occurring. Hopefully, the teams that our guys play for get knocked out pretty quickly, because it is a genuine concern. But it is something we can address in the transfer window in January if we need to. If we can, if we are able, if we've got a scouting network that could perhaps bring in the right loans, for example, that's not going to affect us FFP wise so much. We've got to rely on, and I mentioned last night that George Mendes is a big friend of Nuno. He got me at it now.
I know,
of Nuno. That little black book could be really, really useful for us right at this time, when it comes to January. And we could bring in some pearls from, Portugal or whatever, or South America again, So let's hope. And that's all we can do. It's a new challenge, isn't it? And I'm actually looking forward to the match on Saturday now, which I've not been for the last few games. I'm actually looking forward to it. It's going to be something new, something different. Let's see how this guy gets on. Let's see what kind of team he puts out. Let's see who he chooses. It's all new instead of the same old that we've had for such a long time. I hope the toxicity. I hope it doesn't get too toxic.
Toxicity.
Because we're supposed to be Forest fans. Now, before the match, I'm quite happy to sing Steve Cooper's name before the match. Quite happy to. Because, he got up, So I'm quite happy to sing. But once that game starts, it's Nuno. He's our man now. He is our man. And we should back him with every fibre of our being until he screws up. Then we can get on his back.
Crypto?
I'd like us to finish around maybe 12th or 13th. I think I've got a feeling that if we were to just avoid relegation, a lot of the people who are seriously Cooper FC would say, yeah, but Cooper could have done better than that. So I think we need to go one step further and try and get up the table a bit. Like Ant says, it's dependent on results really and the way they play football. But yeah, you've got to try and get up the table as far as you can, because then next season you want to improve on that. So if you can get to 13th this season, then maybe next season you can get to 10th. And then the season after, maybe you can get to 8th or 7th. If we're 17th this season, then it feels like it'd be an extra year for me to properly progress. But who knows what will happen? I think we'll have to judge him from Saturday onwards. It's hard to guess what he's going to be like. I mean, he could be completely crap. Bournemouth might batter us 6-0 on Saturday, and everyone will say, "Oh, it's a massive mistake." I mean, I won't, because I've got Solanke in my FPL. But everyone will say, "Oh, it's a massive mistake. We shouldn't have got rid of Cooper." We literally don't know what's going to happen. But I think I'm feeling quite positive that there'll be some change. I think, like I said earlier, Marinakis had to make a decision. He either stuck with Cooper or he changed it, and I just don't see how he could have stuck with him for any longer before the January transfer window.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna say, ask me on Sunday. And there's a lot in the chat saying, what do we think of the lineup? We will cover that on Friday's stream, where we'll really get into it once we've done the tactical videos for you this week. Once obviously Nuno's been announced, there's a lot to cover off. Right, we're gonna wrap it up there. I think we've done a long day today. I can feel my eyes starting to glaze.
Can I just ask you? Are you saying he's on a one week contract? Then is that what you're saying?
It's good enough for Marinakis. It's good enough for me, mate. please do hit the like if you haven't already. Make sure you've subscribed. We've had the phone-in show earlier, so if you haven't caught that, go listen to some cracking points by a lot of really good. Well, you guys coming on and talking.
I'm so proud of our chat. Honestly, some of the guys on today were really, really good. Dead intelligent, knew what I was talking about, level-headed. Not like me at all. Really good.
I need to kick out now and upgrade some of you guys onto the panel. Thank you to all the panelists for giving up their time. Please give them a shout out in the comments and go follow Crypto on Twitter. I'm sure he's going to have some fun on there tonight. So we will see you tomorrow. There'll be a couple of videos and there's something else. I can't remember what it is. I'm too tired to remember. Have a great night.
Tomorrow.